Guys, as you notice, I don't sit down and come up with. I don't have a factory, and I don't come up with ways to have technology to outmaneuver my competition. I use people's technology to correct uh, the coding of their technology, to correct what they're doing with technology. I do it in a compassionate, rational, patient manner. I pick up the phone and I explain to people, I'm Earl from the book of Revelation, the guy whose life story is in Revelation, 1322nd Redeemer and the Spirit of John from the 1322nd Redeemer from Islamic prophecy, the Spirit of John from Mormon prophecy, the Pale Rider from the North from Rastafarian prophecy. So, I'm that guy, I'm that human being. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. And so, I explain to people what's happening, what's going on, and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I'm so consistent at it, and why it does cause me physical, mental, and emotional distress, and it's going to until either people use the technology to share the truth of the God, share the reality of the Gospels. Let's say it that way: the reality of the Gospels, the truth. Truth of the Gospels has always been based on evident faith in reality. It's been corrupted by people that use philanthropy to manipulate and mass murder to feel powerful. So, the reality of the Gospels, instead of what we perceive as to say the truth of the Gospels, the truth of the Gospels has always been true. It's just people manipulate people with lie, and lie is obvious and truth is evident, right? And so, as we have a lot of these things going on, I've noticed that a lot of this stuff is based on genocidal operations, which I've known since about 2009. Okay. That they've been doing these genocidal operations. I didn't know to the extent. I didn't know about the extent of the technology. I didn't have that. I'm not that type of person that studies that. I'm not that type of person that focuses on things like that. I'm the type of person, if you're going to use technology, use it to help everybody understand and obey natural laws, and then respect the dignity of life and honor the dignity of life in everyone and all things to the best of your ability. I'm not the type of person, I'm not an extremist. I'm not the type of person that will sit there and go, oh, don't do that, we'll kill worms, oh, don't do this. But I'm the type of person is if you don't need to drive a car, why are you doing it? Okay. Why are you, if you forgive debt and trespass, when you forgive debt and trespass, love on eternal peace, you don't have to pay extortion and exploitation, so you don't put a plane up in the air and have people jump out of that plane for recreation or entertainment or for whatever reason. You don't have to fly a plane over Germany and drop in Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton and so forth. Okay, so you understand, if you understand the Lord's Prayer, you apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer and you share that understanding, and the whole world is living the peace of the Messiah, then there's no necessity to put up a airplane and have people jump out of it. The only reason you need to jump out of an airplane is if you had to go somewhere in an airplane, and then the airplane itself was going to crash, and then you had to get a parachute and jump out of the airplane so you did not die with the airplane crashing. Okay, that would be about the only necessity that you would need when they did that before, it was to drop people in there because it was hard to land an airplane in there, so they could go in there and through espionage and murder each other to manipulate each other with technology and money, which is in direct contrast to the natural laws given to us of the eternal understanding of the Gospels and of the Lord who gives us faith in God, right? And so when you're sitting there looking at this stuff, it's perfectly natural what I'm doing and perfectly intelligent. And anybody who's humble enough to be perfectly intelligent would understand, okay, why is Earl still doing it? Because I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm not trying to, quote, save anybody. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Okay. Yeah. Why do you have to save people? If people live the Lord's Prayer, they don't require saving from people that are attempting to kill them because they refuse to live the Lord's Prayer. So I'm not trying to save Donald Trump. I'm not trying to save Barron Trump. I'm not trying to save Barack Obama. I'm not trying to save Malia Obama. I'm trying to help them live the Lord's Prayer so they don't require saving. Okay? That's the type of person I am. Okay, I'm intelligent. I'm the Messiah. Okay. I'm not Mr. Wonderful, but I am wonderful, wonderful. I'm a very wonderful person. If you want to describe me, wonderful would be a good way to describe me. It's wonderful the way he loves us, even though we try to murder him. We try to get him to go crazy so we can see how amazing his abilities are to physically react to people that are perverse and disgusting and aggressive and violent and want to compare themselves to you. Well, I want to see how you can fight me, and I want to see how I can fight you. It's like, you don't want me to kill you. Okay, when Steven Seagal came into town, he never saw me and I never saw him. And I didn't have to tell him, what's the measure of a man? A man who stands up for the Lord's Prayer. So stop acting like a pussy face for money and stop sexually assaulting women. I believe it. That was gossip. I believe him and his wife brought those people in and sexually abused them and took advantage of them. I believe it. Yeah, that type of stuff happens when people have money and they bring people in from foreign countries that have no, quote, civil rights or liberties through genocidal rules of engagement, which are not laws. Laws are photosynthesis and gravity, right? Okay, and so we obey natural laws, and we do what's necessary for natural laws to continue to maintain our beautiful physical lives. You don't need to fly a woman from Malaysia or Indonesia to the United States of America to be a domestic, for people to do their cleaning, their toilets, their dishes, their whatever. They need to be able to live in, they need to be, I will have a handsome husband, I'll be cooking in the home, my daughter will go to fetch water, we'll make sure they have indoor plumbing. We'll make sure we do the indoor plumbing properly. We'll make sure everything drains and we'll put people in places where, you don't have exclusive communities where you don't have to be around your neighbors because you abuse your neighbors, because you make them get uranium while you build weapons of mass murder and destruction to maintain the top uranium. You see what I'm saying? So I got this. Okay. When using the word intelligent, you've got to understand who is intelligent and what intelligence is. Okay. Then you have to be a loving person to be intelligent. And if you're not a loving person, you're not intelligent. Okay. I would love for O'Leary Olu and Donald Trump to be intelligent in the morning, and then Barack Obama join them. Because I love Malia as much as I love Natalie and Kate and Emily. Okay. And I love Sasha as much as I love Emmy and Willow. Okay. I love other people's children as much as I love my own. Okay. I have the same hopes and dreams and aspirations for all people's children as much as I do my own. I have the same hopes and dreams and aspirations for my neighbors as much as I do myself, even if my neighbors are trying to kill me for money to feel superior to me. I want you to live the Lord's Prayer, and I want your children to live the Lord's Prayer eternally, and I'm going to do everything in my ability to make sure that quantum computing understands this and understands the applications in physics of the perfection of the Lord's Prayer, and that laws are gravity and photosynthesis, and you cannot invent your own laws to replace the glory of God with your ego. Do you understand? So I know what I'm doing. I'm watching Big Tarvey commercials. Like, you don't need Big Tarvey. You need to forgive debt and trespass, love one, turn for faith, restore, okay? Restore the ecosystem, restore ourselves, restore one another. I am certain, okay, that when we do this, okay, that we will manage our own population through romantic intimacy and romance, and we will not have more children than we can lovingly care for. And when we restore the ecosystem, if we have an increase in population for a couple of years till we stabilize it emotionally, that the planet will be able to handle it because of what we're doing with the ecosystem and how we're dealing with the food and how we're building our housing and how we're doing things radically differently. Like Judah Krishnamurti talked about, just radically changing from what we're doing right now. In many ways, we're worse than we were in 1985 and 86 when he addressed the UN and asked everybody, why don't they change? Because we have the capacity to change more radically, more intelligently, and more rapidly, in a better capacity intellectually than we've ever had before, but we're not doing it because of ego problems of people that are horribly disabled. Okay. They're mentally and emotionally and psychologically disabled, and we have them in positions of authority and leadership. And it's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a puppet used by scientists, okay, to kill people, because the scientists see the people that vote for him for president as inferior and inefficient life forms. Okay, think like somebody like Sheldon. Okay, don't think like he's doing. Donald Trump is just a setup guy, and so is Joe Biden, and so is Barack Obama. And Barack Obama had ego problems because he thought he had the best tech support in the world, and he trusted them. And you do not trust people that use technology to mass murder people over money. That's insane. Okay. The only people I trust are people that will stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me. And right now, my dad he's trying. He's not much thinking about it. He's nervous about it because they're not getting results. So it's to them, it's easier to pray to a magic Jesus in the sky, because Earl is not getting results. Earl's standing up for the Lord's Prayer, and no one else is standing up with him. Yeah, and this time we're recording it all, and it's going to be put on quantum computing worldwide that cannot be erased or turned into a comic book at the Vatican church store, at the Quorum of the 12 church store, at the, hey, strap C4 on yourself and go murder people in Tel Aviv and have sex with 70 virgins in your mind for 30 minutes. It's not going to happen. No. I don't know why they keep selling that to dudes. It doesn't happen. The moment you blow yourself up, you don't have that 30 minutes in your mind where you think you were having sex with 70 women that wouldn't have sex with you or even talk to you on planet Earth when you were physically alive, right? I don't know where they keep selling that one. So, yeah, it's pretty wacky. It's very wacky, you comic book characters, you crazy nut jobs, right? So, I love you very much. I'm very human, and I'm very American, okay? So, I'm going to talk to you pragmatically, and I'm going to talk to you like somebody from the 20th and 21st century. Not like, ye verily thou I saith unto you, I am the Lordeth, and this is the Lordeth way of the who have, and then I will speak with a British accent, so all the morons thinketh that I am thou intelligenteth. Okay? All right, you understand? Okay, guys. I'm going to load this one up, then I'm going to go give me some sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll kind of pick up and just keep on going and see what we can do. I hope Donald loves Barron for the first time in his life by tomorrow morning. I hope Barack does with Malia. I hope so. I'm ever hopeful. I'm a loving person. I'm a faithful person. I love them all, okay, equally. Appreciate and trust. Not one of them. None of them are, hey, this is Earl. He's still living in by the Lord's Prayer. I enjoy his videos. He's helping us save our own lives from our own egos. I'm not trying to save anyone. I'm just trying to get them to focus on reality. Well, you know what I mean? Yeah, thanks. It's cool. We already discussed that. Okay, I'm just kidding around. You can't say, people don't require saving when you're living the Lord's Prayer. So let's live the Lord's Prayer and stop having to, God bless thy soul. I never knew the words to that song. I had to go look it up. Okay, guys, I love you. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't apply in physics. It's mythological and doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to sing it, because I was like, why am I singing this? This is like singing, and the unicorns will come and save us from the dragons, right? Oh, we need more money to do it.